Welcome back to Think and Speak podcast. Today we are talking about a skill that can completely transform your English confidence. How to make small talk in English. Mr. Miller, many learners know grammar, but they freeze when they need to start a casual conversation, don't they?
That is absolutely true, Emma. Students can write essays and pass exams, but when they are in an elevator, at a networking event, or meeting someone for the first time, they do not know what to say.
Exactly. Small talk may seem simple, but it requires the right phrases, natural questions, and confident body language. It is not about deep topics. It is about connection.
Today, we will teach you modern expressions, useful grammar structures, and natural conversation strategies that native speakers use every day.
If you want to stop feeling awkward and start sounding natural in English conversations, this lesson is for you. Like this video right now and comment below. Do you feel nervous making small talk?
Stay with us until the end, and you will never feel uncomfortable in casual conversations again.
Mr. Miller, let us begin with the foundation. What exactly is small talk, and why is it so important in English-speaking cultures? Many learners think small talk is unnecessary or superficial, but in reality, it plays a major social role. Could you explain how small talk functions in everyday situations such as workplaces, social events, and public spaces? Also, what grammar structures are commonly used in small talk conversations? For example, do we mostly use present simple, present continuous, or question forms? Please provide clear examples and explain why certain structures are more natural than others in casual conversation.
Excellent starting point, Emma. Small talk is informal conversation about light topics such as weather, work, hobbies, or daily life. It is not about deep debate, it is about building comfort and connection. In English-speaking cultures, small talk functions as a social bridge. For example, in the workplace. Good morning. How's your day going? This uses the present continuous. How is your day going? It focuses on a temporary, current situation. Another example at a networking event. So, what do you do? This uses the present simple because it refers to permanent occupation. Small talk commonly uses present simple for routines and facts. I work in marketing. I live near downtown. Present continuous for temporary actions. I'm working on a new project. I'm attending a conference. Open-ended questions. How did you get into that field? What do you enjoy most about your job? Open-ended questions encourage longer responses. Weather is a classic topic. It's been really cold lately. This uses present perfect. Has been, connecting past weather to the present. Notice contractions in small talk. It's, I'm, we're. Contractions make speech sound relaxed and natural. Small talk reduces social tension. It signals friendliness and openness. Grammar structures are usually simple, but tone and delivery are important. In summary, small talk relies heavily on present simple, present continuous, question forms, and contractions. Mastering these structures helps learners feel socially confident in everyday situations.
Mr. Miller, once a small talk conversation begins, many learners struggle to continue it. They answer questions briefly, and the conversation ends quickly. How can someone keep small talk flowing naturally? What types of follow-up questions, linking expressions, or reaction phrases should they use? Please explain how grammar structures such as tag questions, short responses, and discourse markers help maintain conversation. Our viewers want to avoid awkward silence and sound engaging and confident.
That is a very common challenge, Emma. Small talk is not only about answering, it is about extending conversation. If someone says, I just moved here, do not reply with, oh nice. Instead, ask a follow-up question. Really? Where did you move from? How are you finding the city so far? The first uses past simple. The second uses present continuous. Tag questions are also helpful. It's a busy area, isn't it? Structure. Statement plus auxiliary plus subject. If the statement is positive, the tag is negative. You've been here before, haven't you? This uses present perfect in both parts. Short reaction phrases keep energy alive. That sounds exciting. That must be interesting. That must be uses modal verb, must, for strong assumption. Discourse markers help structure conversation. Well, actually, to be honest. By the way. Example. Well, I actually started working there last year. These markers make speech sound natural. Another strategy is sharing a related experience. I moved here last year too. This creates connection. Avoid one-word answers. Expand responses. Instead of, yes, yes, I started about 6 months ago. Adding time expressions enriches conversation. Small talk flows when you ask, react, and share. Grammar tools like tag questions, modal verbs, and discourse markers support engagement. Confidence grows when you know how to extend interaction naturally.
Mr. Miller, many learners worry about ending small talk politely. Sometimes conversations must end quickly due to time or responsibility. How can someone close a small talk conversation naturally without sounding rude? What phrases and grammar structures are commonly used to signal the end of a conversation? Please provide practical examples, including modal verbs and polite expressions, so our viewers can exit conversations confidently and respectfully.
That is an essential skill, Emma. Ending small talk politely maintains professionalism and respect. Common closing phrases include, "It was nice talking to you. I've really enjoyed our conversation." These use past simple and present perfect to express appreciation. Now let us add a reason for leaving. I have to get back to work. I need to head out. Have to and need to express obligation. Structure. Subject plus have /need plus to plus base verb. Another polite strategy uses modal verbs. I should probably get going. Should softens the obligation. The adverb, probably, makes it less abrupt. You can also suggest future contact. Let's stay in touch. We should grab coffee sometime. Let's introduces a suggestion. Should expresses mild recommendation. If ending at a networking event. I don't want to keep you. This is polite and considerate. You may combine appreciation and excuse. It was great meeting you, but I should get back to the meeting. But signals transition. Tone and body language matter. Smile and maintain eye contact. Closing small talk requires gratitude, a brief explanation, and possibly a future connection. Using modal verbs, present perfect, and polite phrases ensures smooth endings. When learners master both starting and ending conversations, they truly control small talk in English. That is how you communicate with confidence in any social situation.
Mr. Miller, I would like to talk about confidence and body language during small talk. Many learners focus only on grammar and vocabulary, but communication is more than words. How important are tone, intonation, and body language when making small talk in English? Also, how can grammar structures such as question forms and short responses support confident communication? Could you explain how rising intonation in yes/no questions, stress in keywords, and natural contractions make someone sound more fluent and approachable? Please provide practical examples that our viewers can practice immediately.
That is a very important topic, Emma. Communication is a combination of grammar, tone, and nonverbal signals. Even perfect grammar can sound unnatural if tone and body language are weak. Let us begin with intonation. In yes/no questions, English typically uses rising intonation at the end. Example: Are you enjoying the event? The voice rises on event. This signals that a response is expected. In contrast, WH questions often use falling intonation. Where are you from? The voice falls at the end. Using correct intonation makes speech sound natural and confident. Now let us discuss stress. English is stress-timed, meaning certain words receive emphasis. For example, I really enjoy networking events. The word really may be stressed to intensify meaning. Stressing content words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, improves clarity. Now consider contractions. I am becomes I'm. We are becomes we're. It is becomes it's. In small talk, contractions make speech relaxed and natural. Saying, "I am very pleased to meet you," sounds formal. Saying, "I'm really glad to meet you," sounds friendly. Body language also reinforces grammar. Maintain eye contact, smile gently, and nod when listening. These signals show engagement. Short supportive responses like, "Right. I see. That makes sense." These are called back-channel responses. They show active listening. Grammar supports confidence when structures are simple and clear. Use open-ended questions, correct intonation, and relaxed contractions. Fluency is not about complexity. It is about natural rhythm and delivery.
Mr. Miller, sometimes small talk happens in professional environments such as job interviews, business meetings, or conferences. In these situations, the tone must remain friendly but slightly more formal. How can learners adjust their language depending on the context? What grammar structures or vocabulary choices make small talk sound professional rather than casual? Please explain differences in word choice, modal verbs for politeness, and sentence structures that create a respectful yet natural impression.
Excellent question, Emma. Adjusting language according to context is called register awareness. Small talk in professional settings requires slightly more formal vocabulary and controlled tone. Let us compare casual and professional examples. Casual. What do you do? Professional. What line of work are you in? Both use present simple, but the second sounds more polished. Another example. Casual. Did you have a good weekend? Professional. Did you have a chance to relax over the weekend? The phrase, "have a chance to," softens the question. Modal verbs are especially useful in professional small talk. May I ask how long you've been with the company? Would you mind telling me more about your role? Would you mind is a polite structure. Would plus subject plus mind plus verb ing. Example. Would you mind sharing your experience? This is more formal than, "Tell me about your experience." Present perfect is also common in professional contexts. How long have you been working in this industry? Present perfect connects past experience to present status. Avoid slang in professional small talk. Instead of, "That's awesome," "That's impressive," "That sounds interesting." Professional small talk balances friendliness and respect. Grammar structures such as modal verbs, present perfect, and indirect questions increase politeness. For example, "I was wondering if you could tell me more about the project." This uses past continuous, "was wondering," to soften the request. In summary, professional small talk requires careful vocabulary choice, modal verbs for politeness, indirect questions, and slightly more formal tone. Mastering this flexibility allows learners to communicate confidently in any environment. That is how modern English speakers adapt their language effectively.
Mr. Miller, many learners find it difficult to make small talk when meeting someone for the first time online or virtually, such as in video calls or online networking events. The lack of physical presence can make conversations feel awkward. How can learners adapt their small talk strategies to virtual settings? Which grammar structures, phrases, or conversation techniques help make online small talk smooth and engaging? Could you provide examples of questions, responses, and polite expressions specifically for online conversations so our viewers can feel confident connecting with others remotely?
That is a very practical question, Emma. Online small talk requires attention to both language and virtual etiquette. Since physical cues are limited, learners must rely more on words, tone, and pacing. First, start with friendly greetings. "Hi, it's great to meet you online." "Good morning. How's your day going so far?" These examples use present continuous and present simple to check the other person's current situation. Contractions like "it's" and "how's" make speech sound natural. Next, open-ended questions are vital for engagement. What projects are you working on this week? How do you usually spend your mornings when working from home? Notice how the grammar supports extended responses, present continuous for ongoing activities and present simple for routines. Polite phrases and modal verbs also help. "Would you mind sharing your thoughts on that?" Could you tell me more about your experience? These sentences use modal verbs to soften requests and show respect. In virtual meetings, softening language prevents misunderstandings when tone is harder to convey. Short supportive responses keep the conversation flowing. That sounds interesting. I can see why you enjoy that. These back-channel phrases demonstrate active listening, which is even more important online. Discourse markers also structure the conversation. Well, I think. By the way. So, how about? These markers signal transitions and make the conversation feel natural despite the digital format. Finally, consider timing and pauses. Avoid interrupting, allow for slight delays in responses, which are normal in virtual conversations. In summary, virtual small talk uses present simple and present continuous, open-ended questions, modal verbs for politeness, discourse markers, contractions, and supportive short responses. Combining these grammar structures with attentive listening, clear tone, and appropriate pacing makes online conversations smooth, engaging, and confident.
Mr. Miller, sometimes learners worry about cultural differences when making small talk, especially with people from other countries. Topics, tone, or humor that work in one culture may not be appropriate in another. How can learners choose safe and effective topics in cross-cultural small talk? Which grammar structures, question types, and polite expressions help ensure the conversation is friendly and respectful? Could you provide clear examples to help viewers navigate international conversations with confidence?
That is a very important question, Emma. Cross-cultural small talk requires sensitivity to topics, tone, and language. The goal is to create a friendly and respectful conversation without offending anyone. Safe topics often include weather, hobbies, work or studies, and general interests. It's quite warm today, isn't it? What hobbies do you enjoy in your free time? Notice the present simple and present continuous structures. These are universally safe and easy to understand. Using tag questions, like, "It's a beautiful city, isn't it?" make statements feel conversational and inviting. Polite expressions and modal verbs are also crucial. Would you mind telling me about your favorite places here? Could you share any tips for visiting your city? Modal verbs would and could make questions softer and more respectful. Avoid direct or personal questions such as salary, religion, or politics, unless you know the person well. Discourse markers like, "By the way," or "That reminds me," help guide conversation gently. For example, "By the way, I heard about a local festival. Have you been there?" Humor can be tricky. Stick to light, inclusive jokes about general topics like weather or cultural events. Avoid sarcasm or idioms that might confuse non-native speakers. 4. Ending cross-cultural small talk politely. It was really nice talking to you. I hope we can chat again soon. This uses past simple for appreciation and modal verb can for future possibility. In short, learners should use safe topics, polite question forms, modal verbs, tag questions, and supportive responses. Combining these grammar structures with careful tone and cultural awareness ensures small talk is friendly, respectful, and confident across different cultures.